Oscar week.
Who's getting the gold? Who's winning the Oscar? This guy.
Oh. Welcome back to the Gentleman's Sit Down. We are an untraditional podcast.
Trying to be traditional gentlemen.
I am Satirius Lemitius.
And I'm Joshua Callahan.
Links to our social medias in the description below. Also, just a friendly reminder. If you enjoyed this episode, don't be afraid to leave a like, give us a comment, subscribe, please. Maybe hit that notification bell.
Send us some hot emojis.
Yeah. Give
like
us a
good
follow.
Hot emoji. Follow us. Subscribe to us. Like us. Love us.
Yes. Yes.
You do love me. You do love me. That's an Oscar reference. Sally Field.
I was doing an Obi-Wan reference.
That's a cooler reference.
Nah, it's all right. Here we are.
We're right here.
We're right here talking
Where are
about...
you going?
Yeah. Talking about... It's Oscar week.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the Oscars. You like the Oscars?
I like the Oscars. I like films. I'm a big film nut.
Yeah, I'm a film nut, and I know I like different movies. And, you know, the Oscars can be stuffy, but I like the prestige. I like the recognition.
Yeah.
People, there are actors who say they don't want to be recognized. It's a privilege to. Yeah, we know it's a privilege, but it's an art form. So don't forget, art, you know, needs to be emulated and respected and acknowledged.
I was about to say, in my opinion, I feel like these award shows, they're important for art. Why?
Yeah.
Because it keeps us fresh in our mind that we should be recognizing art. We should be honoring art. So these award shows are necessary because there's plenty of examples, historically speaking, of when you could see the rise of a civilization and the fall of a civilization. The rise of a civilization usually, yes, begins with the further development of their art. Their art starts to get better. They start to do more art. And then that leads the domino effect of, boom, science, mathematics, all these philosophical ideas start to grow.
You know, even the Greeks had Oscars. They were called the Aristotles.
That's not true.
But yeah, they were called the Euripides.
Euripides. He's not even an artist. He was a soldier who ran.
Euripides. I like the Oscars, and I like the pomp and circumstance of it. And I like to have a party, sit down, and a lot of times, you know, you'll see the movies that they nominate, and they're usually not ones that are like, what? What is this? Like the King's who? The King's what? The Queen's what? You know, it's like some kind of like, you know, art movie or something about somebody you didn't know.
Oh,
and it gets nominated. And then you check it out and it's like, okay, I see what they're saying, but it's not going to really stand the test of time. No. And it's not going to be something that's rewatchable. So I like to talk. I think in this one, we're also going to talk about maybe movies that we think should have won, that were our best pictures.
Yeah.
That's what I
just, you know, in my head, it's Oscar week. I just wanted to talk about films.
The best pictures.
Yeah.
Not the actors.
Yeah. Films that, like, as a altogether, a full piece, should be like, if they haven't won, they should have won. And they should be examples for filmmakers now and in the future to watch and be captivated by and be like, huh, you know what? This is the kind of film that should have won if it didn't win. And if it did win, it's a great example of what Oscar films should be.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite game is to see what was nominated the year something won and be like, what? Annie Hall won against Star Wars?
Yeah.
Fucking Gandhi won against E.T.? How many of you seen Gandhi? Now, how many of you seen E.T.?
I didn't even know there was a film called Gandhi.
Yeah. See? Ipso facto, WTF. Gladiator won.
Gladiator won.
And that was like
everybody,
a fan favorite.
yeah,
Because usually the ones that the people like that's a successful movie doesn't always win. I mean, but you can go back to Titanic, which won too. And it was
hmm
like
it was a
the
box office
for
explosion.
years. It,
Yeah,
it was the number one movie, gross number one, even more
I
so
heard it
than Gone
was.
with the Wind and stuff.
Yeah, I heard it was in theaters for over a year.
I watched it several times. Don't get mad at me. Relax. It was a good movie.
I think I have a very specific style of film, whether I'm like, you know, like I like to write scripts. So whether I'm writing them
Yeah, you
or
do have a
watching
style.
them, I do
Yeah.
have a very specific style of film that I feel. Excuse me, I farted. I'm just kidding. It's just some asshole's
It's like
motorcycle.
motocross going on outside, huh? Jeez, like the NASCAR for dirt bikes. Nasty bikes.
but
Got it.
but but yeah, so I got a very specific style. And I wanted to talk about some films that, there's a couple films I've watched recently that I have never seen
That match
before.
your style?
Yes, and they have a style that I really like.
How would you coin your style in a phrase?
I
What do
don't
you
think
mean?
Drama, dialogue heavy, yeah, and like try to
Moody.
yes,
It has a
it
mood.
rides on the yes. It has it has a tone,
Tone.
very tonal, and it tries to not trick you, but not give away the answer either. Like how films you could kind of see what's gonna happen next.
So you're trying to say unpredictable?
Not completely unpredictable. You can
Like you're not doing
kinda
a Shyamalan twist.
yeah, you're
You're
not doing
just
it's not a
like,
twist film, but it's like the way it happens,
oh,
you
I
didn't
see where it's
think.
going. Oh, left turn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh,
And you
I
thought it was
feel
gonna
like
go
it's gonna go
right.
this way. Oh, but all of a sudden it's going this way, but I could see it makes sense. And oh, I'm not like
So what movie? What movies did you see that emulate this?
recently, I've seen two movies recently
Oh,
that
what?
I've never seen before
He
that I
hasn't told me. This is
always
gonna be
wanted to see. I've
surprise.
always wanted to see them. So one, and I think I already told you about this one. One, Reservoir
Oh,
Dogs.
yeah, you did.
Yeah. I've always been a Tarantino fan. I've seen Pulp
Me too.
Fiction.
True Lies.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies. And I know you just wrote it. Pulp Fiction, fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen Pulp Fiction. I've seen Hateful Eight. I've seen Django. I'm a Tarantino fan. I like Tarantino. I like watching his interviews too. I think he's a little nuts, but like it's a fun kind of nuts.
He's an enthusiast. He's like a
Exactly.
film nerd. He's an enthusiast. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
go in. And he has no control over his editor. And he's just,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Saying it like it is.
He's fun. He's a fun guy to watch speak about films and just in general in interviews.
He's a fan.
There's this one famous clip of Tarantino where I think he lost a Golden Globe or something to Ben Affleck, and it was
Argo.
something like that. I don't know what film, but I remember Tarantino was drinking his champagne, and then right when they call Ben Affleck's name, he's just like he spits it out, and you see
Like
it
at the Oscars?
No,
Or the
it was
Globes?
like the Oscars or the Golden Globes, yeah. And you see, because you know how they have the frames of the people that are nominated, and then they zoom into the winner.
Okay.
So you see,
That's great.
you hear them announce Ben Affleck, you see Tarantino spit, and then the screen goes into Ben Affleck.
Classic.
It was funny. So
But why
Tarantino-
Reservoir Dogs?
Reservoir
Did you
Dogs,
not see it? Did you wait? You said you just saw it.
I
or-
just saw it for the first time. I
Can't
never
believe.
watched it. I never watched it before. It was always a Tarantino film that I always heard of, and people told me I have to watch it,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to spoil it for me because they're like, you need to see it. It's one of his first films, if not his first film, and like I think it was his first director.
It's his first film. Definitely his first directed film. And
He
I think
directed
he
it,
did it.
right?
Yeah, he directed
Okay,
it and
okay.
wrote it, and of course, but I think he funded that on his own.
Mhm.
And then he got a few more writing jobs that were more popular. Natural Born Killers and True Lies was fantastic.
Mm.
Maybe another one here and there that we don't know about or wasn't as popular, maybe. But then you get Pulp Fiction. So I think that's the timeline.
Yeah, I think Pulp Fiction came out in '94, or '95, something like that. And I know for a fact that Reservoir Dogs came out in '92.
Okay.
But people always told me to watch Reservoir Dogs because I'm like a big film nut and I like writing films and I like making,
You like
you
that
know.
opening diner scene, don't you? Where they're just talking
Oh
about
yeah,
the tip.
that was the best. The second I saw that opening scene,
Come on.
I was like, oh yeah, this is a film I'm gonna love. The second I saw it, because everybody told me to watch that film because they're like, dude, this is like his film. Like his budget was like $3 million or something, and it did really well in the box office. Um, and
It
they
made a
just
lot
tell
of
me,
stars too. Like it made
oh yeah,
stars of a lot of people. That was like one of their first kind of movies.
yeah, and they just tell me to watch it because it was like he wrote it, directed it, he even put himself in a role in it, and he like you said, he had that small budget. I think it was
Steve Buscemi.
self-funded, or maybe yes, Steve Buscemi's in it, and he did
It
great.
was one of his first movies.
Yeah, and
Sizemore. I'm
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
there's
Go
a lot
ahead.
of like famous faces. Um, it's just a film they said that like I would love, and like I would draw a lot of inspiration from, just because Tarantino, like he's one of the guys that broke into Hollywood who didn't have like a connection through family or like something like that. He came in just a full man, a man fully in love with the art, so passionate about it. He dove in headfirst into the world any way he could and did all he could to be the artist that he is. God bless him. Um, and that's why watching Reservoir Dogs and watching how he made the scenes, like, it's very Tarantino, and and it's just like the way he writes dialogue. I love listening to his dialogue, even though he
Yeah,
goes a little
best
crazy
dialogue.
sometimes, but the dialogue is so natural. It's so the actors who were portraying the dialogue in Reservoir Dogs were so
Yeah.
awesome at it. They were just so great. It was so great. All of it fit real nice, and I don't know. It was great. It was great. And the other film I've seen recently that left an effect on me was Christopher Nolan's, like one of his first, if not the
I think it's
first
his first.
film, and it's Memento.
Yeah, that one started it all. Before you get Shyamalan, I think you get a Memento, which is
Came
a
out 2000
twist.
or 2001. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe Shyamalan did come out before him,
Okay.
because then you have like Signs in the '90s and the
Mm,
Sixth Sense '99. Sixth Sense is '99.
mm,
Like the Rain Man with dates.
yeah.
Okay.
I just loved. It was the first time I don't think I've never seen it before, and I don't think I've seen it since. Well, obviously I haven't seen it since because I've seen Memento recently, but I've never
Love
seen it
Memento.
before. I've never seen a film tell you a story. Excuse me. I've never seen a film tell you a story with events going backwards.
Yeah.
It's literally like the film is going. I know that kind of spoils it. So if you've never seen it,
Oh shit! It totally does spoil it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it spoils it.
But it tells it, you think it's a narrative, a linear narrative going front to back.
Yeah.
But then there are clues that he gives you that you don't realize to the end that, oh shit, this was being told backwards.
No, the whole time I realized he was going backwards, like after like somewhere in the beginning, because I was
You
like,
just
oh,
been watching it fresh. I think the
this is
last
the
time I
first
saw it
time
like
I
years
was.
ago.
Yeah, this is the first time I
So
saw
I
it,
kind of forget some of
and
it.
and I was watching it, and I was like, oh, oh, and like he was like keying it together, so he was keeping you just as confused as the main character was portraying himself to be. He because and it I don't want to give away things any more than I already have, but and it's crazy because there's also as the film's going, like it's telling events backwards. There's this one scene that keeps going forward throughout the film, and it keeps cutting away to the scene that's still going forward while the rest of the film is going backwards, and it's like, whoa. And like I remember I was trying to piece things together, and like I was following the film, and I'm like, oh, maybe this person, oh, but no, this person, like it literally pulls you one way to the
Yeah.
other, like, oh my god, you don't really know who's guilty until you reach the end, and then it's crazy.
Classic. It's a great movie. It used to be in my, it's one of those movies that you always go back to, you reference it, has an impact on you, leaves a mark. But then I don't know, I hadn't seen it in a while. And kind of, not that I don't forget about it, but it's like then you watch the Batman movies and Christopher Nolan's, you watch Interstellar and stuff like that, and you're like, oh man, Inception, this guy's great. And you forget Memento. I think it
Yeah.
started. Man, it's
Yeah.
a great movie.
And
Guy
like,
Pearce.
yeah, He's a great guy. He was a great actor. Um, it's just I don't know. Like these films, to me, like they set a tone.
But they didn't win Best Picture.
They didn't win anything, but they were so in my mind. They're so revolutionary. They're so out of this world amazing, and like I've never and to do it with budgets that are pretty small. I think Memento had a bigger budget than Reservoir Dogs by maybe by a lot. Maybe I'm not too sure, but I know it had a bigger budget for sure. And
But not big like
but
today's standards.
no, yeah, like Christopher Nolan has like $300 million budgets now. He didn't have a $300 million budget for Memento. You know? It's just crazy that these and that to me is inspiring because it shows me like when I try to this is like a personal take now. When I try to write something and I'm keeping it like very simple, I'm writing more dialogue heavy stories because that's really all you can really rely on when you have no budget. You have to rely on your dialogue, your writing, and the actors performing it, and the way you work the camera, and then editing after all that, all the post after that. You have to really rely on doing the art proper, right, and also a little bit more personal and stylistic to you,
Yeah.
and that's what makes and it's just interesting for me, someone who's obsessed with the films, seeing these masters at their work when they weren't considered masters yet, but they were anyway because they were already like, you know what I mean, like
You're on the cusp of, yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, love and come from theater, live theater, where, the play is to do. You got to action, will speak louder than words. Whereas in film, a lot of times you can hone in, do the close up, and the camera is doing the do.
Yeah, it's
The
focusing in
camera's
on-
doing,
Yeah.
it's moving around, giving it a sense of life or reality. So you can get away with more dialogue because it starts with the character. And you want to, for me, like with film, I want to get thrown into a story, yes, but I want to I want to relate to a character. And the dialogue is really important. One of my I don't know, like when I think best pictures and stuff, and each year, not very few years have the movies that I thought were the best of the year won. But Return of the King, I think the whole series won. Do you know this is a fact, and I dare you to test me. Almost every genre of film has won a best picture except sci-fi.
Really?
Been nominated.
Are you
Star Wars
serious?
nominated. You got like Alien 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's no sci-fi movie that has won an Oscar. I mean, you can say Shape of Water won, and it's kind of has sci-fi elements with the creature, but it's more like romantic, fantasy kind of. They say, but it's the closest one. And then you get something like you got horror like Silence of the Lambs one, and then fantasy like Return of the King. I mean, that movie deserved to win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's winning for all three of the movies.
Yeah.
But
My uncle thinks
yeah.
when you speak about Lord of the Rings, his favorite was he always said there's only 2 trilogies that he's ever seen where the movies only got better as each release.
Yeah.
He said it was The Matrix, and then he said it was the Lord of the Rings. That's my uncle's opinion.
Wait, what do you mean? That they've gotten better over time?
They got better by each release, he said.
Oh,
So he
'cause
said
that's-
when he was watching, like when they were coming out in theaters and he was watching them,
Each one got better than the
he
other.
felt like each one got better. Now that he got older, he thinks like he thinks the first Matrix is the best one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of a popular. I love 2 and 3. Narratively, they go to where the story's going to. But yeah, as a revolution, as kind of like wow moment, Matrix for me was like, oh man, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Where is that movie coming from? Where is it going? It's amazing. It was the first. Same thing with like The Godfather, but then you have Godfather 2 tells the story in a completely different way. So much better than the others. And a lot of people don't like The Godfather 3, but it has its thing. Yeah, so mob movie, you got The Godfather 1 and 2 won in Best Picture. And The Departed.
The Departed.
I love The Departed.
It's good.
It won Best Picture. But no sci-fi movies. Where's the sci-fi?
Yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah. Because even like, I don't know, when I think sci-fi now, ever since I saw the first Blade Runner, I always think about the first Blade Runner. Always. And I think about its newest edit. Because it's like right now, the most popular one you can get on DVD is like this most recent release where they did like this most recent remaster in 2007 where they kind of get rid of that like that driving scene at the end because that's never his vision. That was apparently a Hollywood studio wanted to add that so that the film didn't feel empty in the end. And he added the unicorn scene and when he did the first
foil
remaster.
Unicorn.
No. Like the scene where the cutaway shot where Harrison Ford's character is sitting there and he's kind of just thinking, and then there's a cut to a unicorn running, and like that was added in the 90s when they remastered it in the 90s, and then
because he folds up a unicorn, Descartes. The Harrison Ford character.
Yeah,
creates a foil unicorn thing.
Yeah, because the unicorn is supposed to represent like freedom, like nature, like
Ridley Scott also did Legend.
Yes,
about unicorns.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Never
Great
seen
movie.
Legend.
Tom Cruise, Tim Curry.
Never seen it. Like Blade Runner should, I feel like, needs to be re-released into movies, and people need to stop being prisses and watch it.
Are they being prisses, not watching it? Who's not watching it?
Like
I think people gets a lot of love. They keep on selling the director's cuts and the different cuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, sci-fi people like us like it, but like, I mean, like the general moviegoer, the public, I feel like they need to watch more films that have like a Ridley Scott kind of pace. Like a lot of people don't like The Last Duel because apparently it's slow. I'm like, wait, this is a great film.
Slow.
They don't like the pacing of it. And they don't like it's it's one of those it's a typical Ridley Scott film. There's not a lot of action, okay? There's more. Well, I shouldn't say that because Gladiator.
There's a lot of action.
Yeah, Gladiator and Kingdom of Heaven. But what I'm saying
Gladiator
is
won Best Picture.
Yeah, Gladiator won Best Picture. But what I'm trying to say is Blade Runner has this slower pace. There's not a lot of action until the end.
Yeah, it's
same thing with The Last Duel. There's not a lot of action until the end.
It's like film noir or something almost too.
Yeah, and Last Duel, I don't know.
I get what you're saying about the pacing, but
yeah,
it's just like I don't know. You can't have like these like hour-and-a-half movies all the time, and I guess Oscars will, and critics and they pick movies that are not, famous to the public because the public doesn't have like the
taste, I guess.
I'm trying to think of the word. It's like they don't have the attention span. There it is. People don't, most moviegoers don't have the attention span for like a longer movie. It's like, okay, come on. And like The Last Duel was great. They're telling it from different views. It's letting you into the story from different perspectives with different things happening. A lot of stuff happens. In that movie. And you get the fights and the swords and the things, but it's not, but there's other action going down. Those sex scenes in there are so funny. I mean, considering
the specific sex scenes, not the one,
not the one that it's about where it's like the rape.
The ones before that spoilers. About the
like the guy, them acting, the rich people behaving badly.
If you run, I will chase you.
It's like, what? You don't expect it to this is some action in the movie that I don't know. I really like the movie.
Yeah, I liked it too. I think it's a great film. I feel like but that's what I always tell people. Like Ridley Scott films, usually they come out and they're underrated until like a couple years later. Yeah. Like a couple years later, eventually people are like, oh my God, why did we not like this movie when it came out? It's like, because you weren't thinking. For some reason, everybody's late on the Ridley Scott bandwagon. The only time people jumped on it properly was Gladiator.
Where did it begin? Alien. I think that one was nominated for special effects.
Yeah.
Not for best picture. But man, I love Alien. Talk about suspense, horror, sci-fi. Man, he knows how to frame a story.
Ridley Scott, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
man.
Tarantino.
And Tarantino, all these guys we're talking about.
Nolan.
Yeah,
Jinx.
boom. But
There's other good ones too. Come on.
oh yeah,
Scorsese, we talked about The Departed. I mean, he had some good ones too. I like the
Scorsese.
oh yeah.
Taxi Cab or Taxi Driver.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I
Classic.
like that one.
I like the
Goodfellas is good. I like
Goodfellas is a great
Goodfellas.
one.
Wolf of Wall Street is fun. It's a
Funny.
fun film. Yeah, that's a
Trying to think,
fun
what was
ride.
the one with
And that's a long
Daniel
film, too.
Day-Lewis and Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was about the beginning of America. It was called something.
I don't know.
Oh, it was one of my favorites. But yeah, I can't think of the title.
I never even heard of that. I would like to see that. It sounds good.
If I can think of the name. Oh,
There's so many good films.
a Western has won Best Picture, Unforgiven. Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Really?
I have gone to Unforgiven. It's great.
Rocky,
Rocky.
the boxing movie, has won.
Mhm.
No sci-fi. Where's sci-fi? Come on.
Dune has a good chance.
Dune is nominated this year.
Dune's gotta win.
I don't think it's gonna win.
Come on.
Yeah,
Who's
I
gonna
want it
beat
to. I
Dune?
want it to.
Who's gonna beat Dune?
Power of the Dog. That's what they're saying. I don't know.
What the heck is the Power of the Dog? I
It's a
haven't heard.
Western. It's with Benedict Cumberbatch.
I didn't even. Wow. I could sit and talk about films all day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm obsessed.
Downton Mr. Ripley came out in the 90s. One of my favorite films of all time. It didn't win. Should have. It's a beautiful, gorgeous movie.
Yeah.
I just want to get that in there.
And just the spaghetti.
Put in the podcast.
But the spaghetti westerns, you know, the Dollars trilogy. I really love those films too. Like The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. That's the film that really set the precedence for all films after on how to shoot
A Western.
not just westerns, just landscape type films.
Yeah, think about
The way-
Nomadland one. And they I think Chloe Zhao, who won for Nomadland, this was like last year, the year before. And she's going out to the American West and they're like leaving a job. So they travel from job to job in their vans and stuff, right? And she does these long vistas and, landscape shots. And I think she did in an interview reference spaghetti Western. She loved them.
Yeah. That's the guy, you know? It's just Sergio Leone, I think his name is the director for the Dollars trilogy.
And I think Unforgiven, that character, Clint Eastwood imagined that guy as the older version of the guy that he was playing in those trilogies, The Good, Bad, the Ugly. That character, what would he be like at the end of his life? Like, have you seen Unforgiven?
Yeah, I have it on DVD. It's great. Morgan Freeman was awesome in it too.
Couldn't believe it won, though. I remember being mad when it won, but
Why?
it deserved it. I don't know. I was a kid. I think I liked some kind of comic book movie that came out that year. I don't know. Not really. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think it was because it's so dark. There's a lot of killing and murder, but that's what it's about. That was the theme.
That's the point. Unforgiven, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a good. I don't know. Those are the kinds of films that I like, though. They, they have to be either or period pieces too. Period pieces
Braveheart.
are amazing. Braveheart's great
Come
too.
on, it won a Best Picture.
Braveheart is great.
That's a
too.
great period piece.
It's a great film.
And who knew it was a biography? I don't know. It's based on a real guy. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
I don't know
real.
if it's historical,
It's-
truth, but that was a good movie,
There's
and that's
some
long too. You don't realize it's that long.
No, because it had a good. I think because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
That's why. There's so much going on, and there's a lot of action in it too. There's a lot of physical, like visual things happening, and it's like quick paced visuals.
Yeah, you get the war, you get the fighting, and it's the narrative. Yeah, and things happen. You said period piece. It made me think of another one pop in my head. Shakespeare in Love.
I haven't seen that.
It's a good one. It's fun, and it fictionalizes Shakespeare's time and how he came up with Romeo and Juliet and all that. It's good. A lot of people don't like it because I think it's like bubblegum period piece. Like it's just because it's good because you like it and you feel guilty loving it. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
Come on.
it is. There's so many great examples. We're just kind of listing examples now, but that to me, if I want to see, my personal opinion on uh, a film winning Best Picture. I want to see a film that took me. Like I'm sitting there. It doesn't matter where I'm sitting watching it. It could be at home or in the theater, preferably the theater, and like watch it in IMAX, and like I don't feel like I'm sitting in the theater anymore. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm in the film.
But
Like I feel like the camera, like I am the camera, like almost like I'm a fly on the wall kind of mentality. Like I'm there
yeah,
and I'm watching it all and I'm seeing it all. Like it feels,
it puts you in it, brings
yeah,
you in it.
and it brings the emotion in, and you could go with the pace, and it's almost like you're watching the film and you don't want it to end.
I want a Best Picture film to stand the test of time.
Yes.
I want it to be a movie that's rewatchable. Okay, so I get it. There are hard movies that they talk about hard subjects and they do it really well to the point where you can't watch it over and over again. But I think you should be able to. I think if it's going to, out of all the movies in a year, you're going to pick a movie that you're going to watch once it's because it has a good moment or it has a slow scene that's just shot perfectly. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
give it a cinematography, give it a different award.
Right.
I want a Best Picture movie to be memorable, and I want it to stand the test of time. And you go back to it, like you're talking about these other movies that didn't win, and you're saying that is exemplary
Mm-hmm.
of a movie. This is my type of movie, and it stands the test of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. Because like American Sniper, I think won one year, right?
Did it?
Did it win?
I don't know if it
Or if
won.
it was nominated? I know it was
It
definitely
might have been
nominated.
nominated.
But American Sniper
I
is
don't think it
another.
won.
I feel like it's a great example because
War movies win.
Yeah, well, war movies win, but it's a
Schindler's
film you
List.
could watch over and over again, and you feel like you're in it, and the emotions and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't seen that movie,
You gotta watch it.
The American Sniper.
It's good. I like it. It's good. I think Bradley Cooper was amazing, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? You think we covered it?
I think we covered it. I think Dune's gonna win this year. Maybe The Power of the Dog.
I really want Dune to win. Dune. I haven't even seen Dune yet.
What?
I read the book long before the movie came out.
I got it on Blu-ray right now. We can watch. I got it on the HBO Maxes.
Do you really got it on Blu-ray?
Yeah, I do.
Holy shit. I'm
I had to
going to
buy it.
watch
I buy
Dune.
movies that I love. I don't care if it's streaming. I buy it because I want to touch it.
Yes. But dude, from what I keep hearing, and like people are saying,
Well, you got to watch it.
I would be people would say I would be very happy as a reader watching the film.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, I really hope so. And I wanted to win just because of that. Just because I know Dune is definitely rewatchable. It'll definitely stand the test of time. And then, I don't know.
Oh, it has. You're talking about a book that's from the 40s or 50s.
From the 60s, 62 it came
62.
out. Or 63, something like that. But yeah.
I think we covered it.
Yeah. We've been the gentleman sit down.
Yeah, we got the gold on this one.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Ceterius Lemitius. Who are you?
Joshua Callahan.
Bada bing, bada boom. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, follow, hit a notification bell if there is one.
Tell us your favorite movie.
Yeah, tell us what you think
Come on.
is one of the greatest films you've ever seen in your life. If you can't think of one, think of 3 or 5 or 7 or 10. I don't care. Write a list. Well, who cares?
If you can't think of one, think of 3.
Yeah. Think of 50. I don't care. Let's talk about it. I love talking films.
Me
It's
too.
my favorite thing. But yeah. We hope you have a great week. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
See you at the movies. Movies. Peace. See you at the movies.